everything today is possible to subcontract out to a hacker, even down to democracy itself. So, and this guy is Andrés Sepúlveda. He did an interview with Bloomberg last year in March, where he described how for a decade he helped political parties in South America to rig elections. So he would hack the other political parties for them, he would get all their secrets, he would deface their websites, make them look stupid, all of that sort of thing. He's now decided to change his life. What's even more remarkable is that he's actually still alive. I'd imagine some of these governments are not the nicest in the world to deal with. But today, all of our organizations and your competitors and so on have the ability to hire people like Andrés Sepúlveda to carry out these sort of attacks, whether it's for democracy or whether it's just to find out more information about what a competitor is going to do next. And there's been other cases that have directly affected democracy. So the most famous recently is a group we've profiled heavily. We call them Pawn Storm. They're otherwise known as APT28, or Fancy Bear is another name for them. And this is a long ongoing series of economic and political attacks traced back to a Russian group since 2004, right? And they're all, the common theme among all of them is all of the people they attack could be perceived as a potential enemy or of interest to the Russian administration. So things like US military, in NATO countries, all the various embassies in NATO countries, Russian dissidents and so on. So we're not saying that they're actually state-backed, it's very, very hard to prove that, but they're certainly very tied in with the interests of the Russian state. But what's most worrying is recently in the last year or so, they've changed some of their tactics to using what we call cyber propaganda. So what they're doing is, today's world is so reliant on information and data that manipulating data can actually affect democracy in a country itself, which is very, very scary when you think about it. So in 2016, this group, they had 8 high-profile political parties that they hacked into. In US, in Germany, in Turkey, Ukraine, Montenegro, and so on. And this wasn't meant for information theft. What they were trying to do here was to actively interfere with the political processes in those countries. So in this case, last year they hacked into the Democratic National Committee, or the Democratic Party in the United States, and they released a whole bunch of files via WikiLeaks. So one of them was the dossier that the Democrats had on Donald Trump, which essentially is the kind of election playbook, right? So how the Democrats were going to defeat him in the election. Everything they knew about him, things they were going to use at different times against him and so on. They also released a whole bunch of information about Hillary, like the donors and so on, which is innocuous data but can be seen as embarrassing when it's released like that. And if you think about it, who actually suffers in this case, right? So if you were the Russian government, who would you prefer to have in power? Hillary or Donald Trump? Right, generally speaking, it's probably not going to be Hillary. So this directly affected that. To the point where even the president at the time, Obama, actually blamed Russian intelligence agencies for carrying this out and expelled a whole bunch of diplomats from their country. So we have elections all across Europe this year. We have in the Netherlands, we're in Germany, France, a few others as well. And I very much doubt that this is the last time we will see this sort of manipulation done both from outside the country and inside the country itself as well, from different organizations trying to manipulate the results. So it's a worldwide issue because our societies today revolve around data. So when you think about hacking an election, it's not about hacking voting machines. It's literally about manipulating the data and things like fake news and so on to affect the hearts and minds of everybody voting. That's how you can change democracy, purely by manipulating the data you have access to.